Hi there, I'm the CRM Ninja, and on today's episode of the Oops Factor, I am really honored to be joined by a celebrity. And not just a celebrity, but a celebrity footballer. Thomas Sandsør, you are
Yeah.
live.
What an introduction. Thank you.
I have to tell you, when I found out about you being a footballer and obviously your Twitter handle and, the CRM keeper comes from the football and stuff, I thought, I have to work out some way that I get this into the interview because without it,
Yeah.
it's just going to be crap.
Yeah. I guess at some point in my life, I believed I could be a celebrity, but the later years I figured out that, that's the chip has passed. I play soccer. Have been doing fairly decent. I still do play some specialized soccer. So I do actually do some
You're on
sand football.
you're on the national beach team.
Yeah. The beach soccer.
And I have to admit, when I think of Norway, I don't quite think of sun and sand, but as you can see from my background, when I started Googling Norway beaches,
Yeah. Oh, this is actually up north then, in that case. If
yep,
this is Norway, this would be up north.
this is Norway. I,
Yeah,
I
but
do
this
my
is,
backgrounds in homage to the person who's appearing. So this is a
wow.
Norway beach.
Yeah, but this could actually be up around the area where Malin actually lives. She has a few very beautiful beaches up there.
Well, you could always go play soccer there. Do
I
some
could,
traveling while you're at it.
I could actually consider that. No, our season is actually very short. It's about I think, well, yeah, 2 months maybe. So
Wow.
it's an intense beach season. Yeah.
So how
So,
did you get into soccer to begin with?
oh, it's kind of like a national sport in Norway. So it's like you either do skiing or soccer or both. So it's kind of like
Okay.
it's kind of you have to do those things when you grow up,
But
and you have to compete in both.
but there's, doing something and then you're in the National League. There's sort of this space between those two levels. So
Yeah, I don't really know how I got there, but it's just that I just really like practicing. It's just been fun. I don't like workouts, so don't get me like I'm not a workout junkie. I never really liked that. I just really loved going to the locker rooms, talking to the guys, just hanging out, and we had fun for 1.5 hour practicing. And I like doing that every single day, and that sometimes twice a day because it was just fun.
twice.
Oh yeah, when I was junior, or
Okay.
around the age of 18, we were practicing at least twice a day, and that was great fun.
Wow. Well,
Uh,
it I guess it builds up, the dedication and commitment to anything, but that you can take with you elsewhere in life and apply that elsewhere.
hopefully, hopefully, but the most important the post thing for me has always been the social part. That's most important thing, and that's also why I had to quit because suddenly I think I quit the official the 11-a-side soccer when I was 32, and I was sitting next to me. The guy sitting there, he's reading things on his Snapchat that I'm like, I actually don't think I'm legally allowed to see what you're showing me right now because these women might be underage. And then I kind of just realized I'm just too old for this. I gotta quit.
I hear you could have gone to coach them.
I, again, I just thought it was fun sitting in a locker room. It was just so much fun, talking so much crap throughout the day. That was the best part. Not actually the soccer. It could have been any sport.
Got it. Got
Yeah.
it. There's a thought.
Yeah.
Themed locker rooms around the country where people can go to chat crap. You
Yeah.
don't
I,
need to
I
do anything
guess.
else. You just go and you sit down and
I guess it's what you kind of have friends and you go to a bar, sit down and drink, just have a good time and just, no one else but
true,
just the guys. Or yeah, it's great.
true. I know that is very true.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm just picturing the difference between sitting in a bar and sitting in a locker room, and.
Well, if I mean, the only difference would be the beers, honestly, because I mean, the amount of crap that you speak throughout that session would be probably the
Well,
same.
well, 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 well. You don't have beers in your locker room.
No.
You're missing out. You
Yes,
need
we
a
were.
bar.
I guess we probably did. Yeah.
Locker room with a bar. Locker bar room.
Well, that could be a concept, I guess.
See,
We
right?
might
See?
just skip the whole workout. We just sort of just gather lots of, the guys can gather for themselves, the girls for themselves, and probably just, let the chat flow freely. We just have the girls teams and the guys teams. We never play. We never practice. We
No,
just hang out for 1.5 hours, really intense, and then we go home.
no. Viewers, you heard it here first. We patented the idea. Locker bar room.
Locker bar
Wait
room.
for the nearest one to come to your locale.
That sounds like a great thing.
So moving on from the locker bar room,
Yeah,
I'm gonna by the
transition
way
there.
get that Twitter handle and on the website tonight. What do you have to share with us for the Oops Factor?
Well, to this, I mean, sharing this time would be, things gone wrong, really. Yeah.
Okay.
Talking about, not just things always going the right way, because they really don't always do that within technology.
No.
And if you're going to be honest as a consultant and just go out there and, go into an interview and say, yeah, I do great projects all the time. I mean, I would have to arrest you pretty quickly and say, yeah, sorry, you're out. Please tell me
I
the
know
truth.
of at least one company where if the interviewee hasn't mentioned a failing that they've been on in a project, they don't allow them to continue in the process because we
Wow.
all learn from our mistakes.
Exactly. Exactly. Yeah, so I was actually kind of thinking of sharing one experience that I had. It was back in 2010, I think. I started in
Okay.
2007. So I'd only been doing CRM for 3 years at that point.
Right.
And so I was a junior consultant, or consultant, whatever you would call it. It was very fresh, and at that time I was working in one of Norway's largest companies at the moment with CRM.
Okay.
And we had this public customer that I was working for. And as a junior, we were just sort of like below the architect. So the architect was doing all of the meetings, doing all the estimates and everything. And the project was becoming fairly big.
Okay.
And within the when you go state, we have to sort of our estimates are pretty locked within government contracts. Even though we call
It's like that a lot of places around the world.
All right. So even though you call it an estimate, it's pretty much we got you by the balls. Yeah. So anyway, we were just getting feedback from him when he was having the meetings. This is what we're going to do. This is what we're going to do. And you're in the position in the beginning where you just, okay, I hear you want to look up there. I'll put a look up there. I'll do the form like this, but you're not really understanding the process.
You go through the sir, yes sir.
Exactly. And whenever you try to sort of say, well, why? It's like, because I told you.
He's the architect.
Exactly. He's the architect, and he participated in the business meeting. I didn't. I mean, I just got an order. These are the forms we want. These are the tables, and these are the relations. Do it. I was like, okay, I guess I can do that. So eventually, that project really turned out bad because
Really? You don't say.
We had no more hours left, and the customer was kind of anticipating a release in this. Let's say they were anticipating the release in March, and we weren't even halfway. And it was
You ran out of hours, and you weren't even 50% of the way through.
Yeah, it was terrible.
Whoa.
Yeah. So basically, at that point, we had to figure out how we were going to do things. So what we changed out doing is that first of all, we were lucky because this architect was pulled out to a different project.
Okay.
So he got to do a different project well.
I like the way you put that. Okay.
Yeah. And we were then stuck with the other consultants. I mean, we were kind of like a group of juniors and a very good project manager, actually. A very good project manager.
Okay. Very important.
Absolutely. And we got to understand the importance because she had been held back for quite some time, actually, in these projects.
Okay.
She took the role of organizing everything with the customer and putting all of the doers front facing. And basically telling us before the meeting to all of us that we were fairly fresh, saying like, you guys got to step up. We said, yeah, well, we don't really know what's what. I said, doesn't matter. Step up. Just ask questions. Don't be afraid.
Got it.
There are no such thing as stupid questions. And it's like, we started the meeting. It was so awkward. Because we had not been participating in the earlier processes. We had been trying to read the documents, but it didn't really make sense. So we kept on just sort of like, meeting after meeting before we suddenly, got a little better at asking the questions. And suddenly it's like everything snapped for us as a group. We were suddenly just asking the good questions.
Yeah, it takes practice. And it's very, very rare just to immediately land on your feet as a junior consultant and be right in the middle.
Exactly. So it's like suddenly we were just asking all of the questions that should have been there in the beginning. And then we suddenly understood what was the missing link, Of course, it didn't save the project within hours. We were far above what we should be doing. I mean, that was a negative project for us. But the customer ended up not happy. I'm going to be honest. It was not happy, but they were okay with it. I mean, we did
Okay.
deliver kind of to their somewhat expectation. But it's like sort of the lesson that I really learned then was just being able to sort of say, you know what, I don't care if I don't understand this, and I don't even trust the guy next to me. If he does, I'm not going to ask him if he understands it. If I don't
Right.
understand it, I'm going to ask questions until I understand. And if that has to be
I
3 or 4 times, fine.
Yeah, I am on the premise that there's no such thing as a silly question. And when I've gone into clients, I'll turn around and say, look, I will ask in order to understand. I'm not asking, to make fun or to sound silly or something, but I really do want to know an answer because you may be using jargon that I have absolutely no idea of. And I just need
Exactly.
to understand this in order that I can then deliver the best result for you.
Exactly. So that was my sort of, at that point, the most valuable lesson learned as a junior. And since then, I've had many failed projects, but they've been for different reasons, not because of the questions.
Obviously not the questions, it was the answers, right?
Of course, it's always the answers being the missing link or something. Yeah.
Well, we can we can discuss those another time if you feel that you may want to come back on, the oops factor. Who knows how you'll be feeling?
Oh yeah, no, it's been an interesting ride, but it's like even now there's always something I learned. But mostly now it's more that I'm in the same position now because I'm more the lead architect in most cases, and it's like
Yeah.
having to trust the others because the other guys are so much just sort of push them ahead, make them sort of, even though they might be a little bit unprepared, as long as they have some backing in the background, they always manage.
Yeah, and to
And you can
pass your
focus
knowledge
on.
on of how you came up through the
Yeah.
ranks, so to speak, and what you learned, and to pass it on to the others have it so they don't make the same mistakes, which is, of course, the whole purpose of this show.
Well, as long as they make mistakes that are controllable, So
Okay,
I
yes.
yeah, I try to let them do the same mistakes, but I still have control over the hours.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes. Well, consultants' lives are run by billable hours. Let's not talk about that. It's the weekend now. Don't want to
Exactly.
think about it.
No, yeah. So that's yeah. So that was one of the experiences. Yeah.
Brilliant. Well,
Yeah.
really, really valuable lesson. As ask questions. It doesn't matter how silly it can be. If necessary, preface with saying, you're not doing it to make fun or anything else, but if you feel that there's a need for a question, you will ask it, and that normally
Yeah.
gets the client to be quite happy with it. So yeah,
Exactly.
people, you should be asking questions. Make sure you actually
Absolutely.
understand.
Yeah.
Concept drilled on into me some years ago at a company I was at the time was there are 5 whys, because you start asking why and you get one
Mm.
answer, but once you get down to the 5th time you've drilled through everything else. I mean, you might not have, but essentially most of the time you should have drilled through everything else to get down to the real reason why.
Mm.
It's a concept.
I've actually heard of that. Yeah. So
Yeah,
yeah, but it really makes sense.
it does.
Yeah.
It does.
Yeah. I should think about that more.
It makes
If it,
people a bit annoyed when you keep asking why, and they're like, "I told you why." I'm like, "No, let's come at it from another angle. If we put that bit out of the way, anyway." No, but that's about
yeah.
managing
No.
the situation.
Absolutely. So yeah, no, it's I'll have to think about that for the next project. Just the concepts as you think, because
Yeah,
I have a tendency in some projects when you go in, when you start asking the questions, I don't necessarily have a plan.
yeah. You're
It's
just
like
throwing something out there, seeing something may stick, and that's it.
in some cases, I believe that I'm just like it's like like a X on the beach drama. You're like throwing something out there to see if they start, bitching towards each other, because then the truth comes out.
Yep.
It's like Pandora's box.
Never know what's going to happen as a result of a question.
Exactly, and I just love it. My best questions, it happens every so often. It's not always, but every so often you get a question. You just ask the question, and you just, for the next 20 minutes, they are just talking to each other because they're not agreeing on how the process actually is. And then
Yep.
you can just sit down and note down everything that they're saying, because you're just being honest with each other, because it's more like an internal discussion.
Yeah, and
And at the end,
it's very valuable, those sort of things.
yeah, and at the end you're like, okay, so what do we agree?
Well, the problem with that, of course, is then if they don't have a agreement as to how best to move forward.
Yeah, but then at least we have a route to something we can work on.
Hopefully.
Exactly. Yeah. So, all right.
Well, thank you so much for appearing. We really appreciate your time.
Well, thank you so much for having me. It was nice just being a part of this. So, yeah.
Yeah, it's an
And I'll have to
absolute
try to
pleasure.
figure out where you get this picture from. I'm still kind of trying to figure out where it would be.
Well, I'll if you find it, then I'll give you a little prize. So my question to you now is: you were nominated to appear on the show. Who would you like to nominate to come on?
Who would I nominate to come on? Who have you? I mean, how many shows have you had now?
By the time this episode ends, will be over 6 months.
Yeah, but how
So
many? But how many people?
one a week.
One a week.
One a week.
Wow.
So probably by the time this airs, it'll be about 30 something.
Huh. That's a lot of people.
It's a decent amount. I look back and I'm actually slightly shocked.
Yeah,
I've actually managed to get so many people to do it, and they nominate other people, and they come on, and it's crazy, but it's great.
wow. That is just such a level of commitment. Being able to have so many people actually, or for yourself also doing so many shows. No, but have you had all the Norwegians on? Have you had Marius there?
Marius has been nominated,
Yeah.
but he hasn't yet appeared on, so he's already been nominated, so you can't nominate him.
I can't nominate him, so I would have to nominate. What about? We have typically that I should just forget the names.
I'm placing you front and center now. Come on, you should be used to this. You play football.
You know what? I have with the part of football. I only needed to know really 4 names because I need the 4 people in front of me. The rest are just running around. But if I have a good connection with the 4 guys in front of me, we can stop anything. That's all I need. I need 4 guys. They got to be on my team. They got to think exactly like me. Then we can stop anything. So let's see here. But the thing is, I'm guessing you probably have had all of these.
Throw out the names and I can tell you.
Yeah, but and you probably have had all of the EPs already?
No.
So Sarah?
Which Sarah?
Lagerqvist, the Swedish?
Sarah Lagerqvist, I have had, yes.
And I'm guessing you've also had, what about all Swedes? Which Swede have you not had?
Which Swedes are there?
Jonas Rapp.
So Jonas Rapp has just been nominated to appear.
He's just been
nominated.
What about Gustav?
Gustav is not.
Or actually, you can also a nomination there if you wanted to talk to someone who's actually very, very technical, very interesting to speak. Is Karina Claesson, Swedish also?
So Karina has been, but Gustav
She's been
hasn't.
Nominated. Okay, but Gustav hasn't been. So I can find one name at least.
You've got Gustav, right? Gustav, Thomas has nominated you. Get ready.
All right.
He's passing the ball.
Absolutely. I mean, I think he would be a joy to have, a very chatty person.
Brilliant. Yeah. Thomas, once again, thank you so much for your time. We really appreciate it. Viewers, we hope that you've enjoyed the episode. Feel free to check out the rest of the Oops Factor playlist, subscribe to the channel and the blog. Have a great day.